everybody, welcome back. I am TheChornick, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to discuss the continent to the south for the Elder Scrolls 6 Theory series. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss Pyandonea. I'm just going to pronounce it that way. I don't know if that's actually the correct pronunciation, but we're just going to pronounce it that way because I suck at pronunciation. But anywho, yes, that continent to the south, Pyandonea. But anywho, yes, so maormer, it is inhabited by this race called the maormer. I don't even know if that's even the correct pronunciation, but they're basically tropical sea elves that, well, they do well in tropical environments. So anyway, the continent is actually very tropical. It has tropical forests like everywhere. Like the whole continent is just flourishing with it. The whole continent is, and it's just thick jungles, and the whole place is absolutely just going nuts. I mean, the place is just like, with all these forests and vines and everything, and there's a huge mist, which I'll describe later, that's going around this whole island, which covers it, and kind of, you can't even see like 20 feet in front of you, with this mist constantly coming out and going around. So basically, I will get into why that is a little later, but basically, yeah, so this is the tropical sea elves, and if we were to say venture into this land in a future an Elder Scrolls game, ladies and gentlemen, we would probably see a lot of these elves. The place is still pretty habited. No record has ever said that the people died. It's just that we haven't seen them for a while, ever since their last attack on Somerset Isles. They attacked the Somerset Isles multiple times in their history. So it looks like they want to get revenge for being banished there, which a lot of people believe the Somerset Isles, all the elves there, banished the maormer to basically this island, or not island, but rather a whole freaking continent called Pyandonea. But according to like translations in the Crystal Tower, which is one of the old relics that is supposed to be a lot like the towers that used to be seen in Aldmiris, it basically says that they were actually banished from Aldmiris, whatever that pronunciation is. They were actually banished from there, but legend also has it that Aldmiris never existed. So obviously there's a lot of speculation going on about that. But the key guy in this whole thing is a guy named Orgnum, who basically is a king of the maormer, and he basically had so much wealth that he was able to create his own army, create multiple, like, just having a whole artillery and ships and everything, and create a whole military, and he was able to buy all of his followers and buy everything and anything he wanted because he was just so wealthy, and he was such a nobleman, and he was just had so much power because of all this wealth, which I'll describe later on how he all got that wealth. But yeah, so he basically launched attack against all of his enemies, against all the other elves, and he kept attacking Somerset Isles, probably because of revenge for them banishing him if Aldmiris never really existed. You know, that whole deal. But basically, legend also has it that Aldmiris actually covered the continent of Pyandonea with a veil of mist, so that they will never be able to find Aldmiris again and never be able to attack him there. So, also, as you know, that perhaps maybe Aldmiris just vanished, and that's why they couldn't ever find him again. What maybe wasn't just this mist, because it seems that these maormer were also able to manipulate the environment and the weather around them at their own homeland, as they did later when this one fleet found them off the coast of Somerset Isles, off of Alinor, I think it's called, or whatever. But they chased the maormer down to try to, you know, attack them, because they thought the maormer was like spying on Somerset Isles, and basically they followed them all the way back to Pyandonea, and that's when the maormer ambushed them and pretty much took all of them out except for one ship, and one ship returned and described the place as a place of huge thick jungles where you couldn't even see like much in front of you because of this huge mist going around, and that all the other ships that the maormer had were able to move in and out of this place, but not the Altmer ships. They were not able to move at all throughout this whole place, and they were just being destroyed by just the environment, not just by the maormer who ambushed them, but just by the environment just taking out their ships. So, if we have a next game, which I think this is still pretty likely, I mean, to have a game in this set in this place, because it seems really interesting. Plus, if we have a Somerset Isle-based game, I believe that maybe this could be a DLC, or maybe just an add-on. Perhaps maybe be some kind of war going on between the, the High Elves and the maormer, the Tropical Elves. We could have maybe some plot evolving around their issue, But that's just something to think about as well. But that sounds really, really interesting. Now, about this guy Orgnium, apparently he never ages, and he just has all this wealth, and his last assault on the Somerset Isles was I don't know, was back then where he, basically almost actually took them. He gained such a massive fleet with all the money he had. He built so many ships. He had this whole armada ready to just take out Somerset Isles. But then all of a sudden, the Imperial Legion, the Imperials, the entire Empire, and Somerset's Royal Army and Navy, and even the Sigic Order grouped up to fight against them, basically. And the Sigic Order, basically, if you don't know who the Sigic Order is, they're like these really powerful, monk-looking mages or whatever. But yeah, they basically did this whole magic thing where they just basically ripped them to shreds, ripped their entire fleet to shreds, most of them, and the remainder of them either fled back to Pyandonea or were just kind of slaughtered there on the spot by the rest of the forces from the Imperials and from the Somerset Isle forces. But anyway, so it's really interesting. But yeah, anywho, Orgnium, so after this battle, he didn't really want to risk another fight against them, and he thought it was going to end up in an utter failure, so he didn't want to lose more men and more ships, even though he did have unlimited wealth. However, this is where this could also lead to, in theory, is that he no longer had this unlimited wealth, mainly because he might have lost it on one of his ships. And what I mean by that is that he actually had a chest which gave unlimited wealth to whoever possessed it, and basically it was lost on one of these ships. And if you did not know this, in Oblivion, the Eternal Champion, which you do become, actually can possess this said chest. Basically, it gives you unlimited money, basically unlimited wealth, and it was found in one of this chest is called Kofer. I'm trying to think of multiple things at once right now, and so I'm kind of going back and forth. But this chest is called the Coffer, I believe, and it just gives you a lot of money. It's found in one of the ships in Oblivion, and you could just possess this item. But I don't know exactly what the mission is, but if you could actually go find this in Oblivion. So yeah, just heads up, go look it up for yourselves. This unlimited wealthy chest. So yeah, it's pretty. So this thing actually exists, and because that it no longer belongs to Orgnium, I believe that's why he's not attacking anymore, because he doesn't have enough money to pay for ships and all that good stuff. But if we do have a next game, I do think if it was set in Pyandonea, we would obviously hear a lot about what actually happened. Where were they banished from? Were they banished from Aldmeris, or were they banished from Somerset Isles? What's their issue with Somerset Isles? Why were they banished and all that? And obviously, the obvious answer to this is that Orgnium was just attacking and rebelling against them. That's why they were banished. But it is said that he was actually banished from Aldmeris, and maybe that's just the reason he left in the first place to Pyandonea to set up his own civilization, and then he was attacking Aldmeris, but he was never again allowed to return to Aldmeris because of this, and that's when he was banished, and the Veil Mist and that whole crisis went on. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this continent. It is shrouded kind of a little bit in mystery, I guess you could say, but it is still highly populated, and it still exists, unlike at Mora and Yakuta and Aldmeris that pretty much are not habitable anymore or just don't exist, Pretty much this and Akavir and Tamriel are pretty much the last three remaining continents to still be standing and still have population on it. So obviously, if we're gonna reach this said continent, I'm trying to rush through this, but I think it would probably just be a DLC, or if it's the main game, probably just be part of maybe a Somerset Isle kind of thing. But also with the Somerset Isles, a lot of people would think that maybe Valenwood and elsewhere will also be implemented. There's so many ways they could go with this, but do you think it should be its own game? Do you think it's massive enough to be its own game? Do you think they could honestly make up so much lore to make it its own game, So we have a tropical forest. It seems like a nice place to have a game, you know, especially from Skyrim, which it was just all barren, you know, winter, tundra, wasteland, whatever. It's nice to go a little bit more warmer climate and maybe go tropical. But please post in the comment section below what you guys want exactly for this next game. I probably missed out on a couple things that I could have brought up, but anywho, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it that I'll have to explain. There's so much more facts about him, about Orgnum and his backstory, but we're mainly talking about the continent in itself and how the possibility of it showing up as a next future game. But anywho, guys, thanks for watching. I love you all. Please post in the comment section below your beliefs. Do you think this continent could ever see the light of day at a game? Or do you think that this is just going to be in the lore books and all that good stuff? Or maybe we would only see maybe maormer in Somerset Isles, or maybe somewhere else in a different future game, but we will actually maybe not actually see the game be set in this continent at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, just post in the comment section below. Do you wish we could hear or see more about this? Do you think it should be an actual game? Do you think Orgnum? What do you think about Orgnum? Like, why is he still alive? Why is he never able to die? You know what I'm saying? Like, he just seems to be the everlasting, long-living king that he is. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Once more, I keep saying that, but finally, I think this is it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I love you all. I can't wait to see you guys in the Akavir video, which will be released next week. That is actually gonna probably be my last Elder Scrolls Theory video ever. I know. But another Elder Scrolls video that I may release is everything that I want, and that might be my finale video. And that'll probably be released a week later. I know, it saddens me that my theory series that started off my channel is now coming to a close, and it's in only 2 weeks it's gonna be over, and it's sad to say, but you know, I really thank and appreciate all of you guys for watching this series. It means a lot to me, and I will probably move on to something else Elder Scrolls related, or maybe we'd hear something about Elder Scrolls 6 at the E3 2015 conference, or just maybe by Bethesda, and I'll start making more theories off of that perhaps. But anyway, it's been a long journey. I'll probably start switching the title from Elder Scrolls 6 to just Elder Scrolls Theories in general, just for future of the franchise, because it pretty much is what it is at this point, because it's not about just Elder Scrolls 6. This is more about like Elder Scrolls, the future of the Elder Scrolls in general at this point. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I know I said that like 20 million times, but peace out! Thank you very much.